Hello, everyone. Alright, there we go. I've lost it already. I'm tired too. Dear God, I'm tired. I spent the last 2 or 3 days trying to watch all of Ryan HD's stuff. And it's insane to me how many shorts that man has uploaded. But he has been uploading for quite a long time. Wow, I'm tired. Alright, well, this thing is labeled as an interceptor, but I can use it as a bomber, because it really... What is this beefy thing anyway? Dear Lord, like, what in the world were the French thinking when they made this aircraft? Let's make it beefy. Okay. Hello, guys. Don't mind me, I'm just half asleep. I took a if-ish power nap earlier, but I got woke up because my brother decided to pee the bed, so no sleep for the working hard people. Hey, I don't do fighters yet. God. Plus I'm messing with a... Oh, shit. World War II is about to kill somebody. Hello, Bean. World War II, don't do something stupid, boy. Bro, are you stupid? I just quite literally freaking marked that. Oh, I like this cockpit. This is nice. This actually looks like it would arguably be comfortable. He's already diving trying to beat me over here to it. Like, dude, why? I might shoot this man down. I'm not even joking. I might shoot him down. He's gonna try and steal this shit. Alright, well. Tree. I hate low tier players. I've said it once, I will say it again. I fucking hate them. With a passion. A passion. I mean, I get that I'm not technically a bomber, but dude, I marked the target. He spawns in, starts spamming the fact that he's gonna bomb that. Like, dude, I've already marked it. So you can mark it all you want to. I'm getting there, whether you like it or not. But you know what would have happened? If I would have took that base, he would have said that I was base stealing. It would have been all my fault that he dropped his bomb and didn't get the points. It would have been my fault, this, that, and the other, but yet I marked it that I was going for it first. Dumbasses. I'll say it, I've said it once, I've said it twice, I'll say it a third time. I hate low-level fucking players. Because all they ever do is steal shit because of the fact they can't do nothing on their own. Anyway, Italian Sherman time. Be nice. You know what? I might do just a full-on Italian Sherman lineup one day. That'd be funny. I find it funny that Italy, I don't know. I don't really care, but, you know. Either way, he was a bitch. He's probably not high level either. He's probably about, if he's not low level, he's mid level, and he still thinks that shit is funny. Like a 5-year-old. Little ASU go. Go for it, little buddy. Go for it! Run! Look at him go! Something about seeing an ASU running in the desert, or on the dirt, running for his life makes me happy. No, why'd you stop? Come on. Oh, look, there's another one! It's a whole family of ASUs! Yay! I'm gonna go adopt one. Hello, Demon Sumner. Oh my. Tank. You're welcome. No! The ASU is dying! No! I died! Right through the transmission. That kind of hurt my feelings. Think I'll bring it out again. Just to be an ass. Oh. I don't know though. I like the ARL-44, but the problem with it is, that I have with it at least, is it's a great tank if you angle it and they have no idea how to shoot you. But when they shoot your turret, like either you explode immediately, which is option number 1, or option number 2, half your crew dies and then you're struggling to reverse so that you can put the gunner back in the gunner seat. And the bad thing is, it's a massive platform. So, like, makes no sense to me why it is that it's so freaking walnut mustard. Okay. Now, why is there another one? You know, I doubt that his reload is longer than my ranging, so... Bonk! Oh, I love the stock shell and hate it at the same time because of that. Is that a bomb? Oh, how nice! The French. It's always the French. Why did the French hate me? I think the French just have something against Italian players. I think that's what it is. It's because they know we're better. I'm stronger. I'm better. I am better. Oh. Yes, I just quoted a meme. I'm sorry. I'm that old. I mean, to be honest, I do get a good old British cannon considering... If y'all are going to come in, y'all need to come in. If y'all are going to go out, you need to go out. I'm not going to deal with y'all coming in and out. I hear something Russian. Oh, that's what it is. We're good. Normally I get scared when I hear Russian engine, but when they're on my team I don't get scared as much. Whee! Yeah, Italian power. That's right. Oh no, I was about to say, yeah, that's right, fear me, and then I saw that, and all I could say was I did a cool stunt and everything, and he still shot me. The Italian or the Germans are mean. I will have to get meaner. Dead men tell no tales, as they say in the movies, at least. This dead man will tell plenty tales once I get my hands on their face. I'm okay. I'm not slowly losing my sanity. How do they expect me to read that? That's not a hint, that's a paragraph. Ah, great, another one of these maps. War Thunder and Gaijin hates me. War Thunder and Gaijin hates me. You can't tell me otherwise, cause there's no freaking way they love me with this game. I got up tiered to 5-0, 5-3, 5-7 at max. Alright, here we go. Maybe 6-0, I don't know what the Chiri's labeled as, so it's just a broad guess. I got me a little toolbox on the back, got me a little radio on the back. The stock gun. Does anyone know, and you know, be honest here, does anyone know what those things on the front of the Sherman are for? Because I have yet to figure out what the flip they're for. Like, they're just there, and I don't know what they're for. And it drives me nuts. Bro, you just got here, and the first thing you said was, I got Motor Town. And Bean, might I add, or ask what you mean by heads? We're not putting heads on our tank. Just sounds scary. Like, are we talking head gaskets, like, or just heads in general? Wait, are we murdering people and putting their heads on the tank or something? What's going on? Are we secret serial killers? That's why the Italians hide their history so much. I'm gonna make the Italian rage at me tonight. Wait, what do you mean? It's for the crew only. It's for the crew. What do you mean it's for the crew? I'm not exactly sure what the flip that means. Like, what is it for? Is it a helmet rack? Make me understand! Without stabbing me with a rifle or a bayonet or shooting me or yelling at me or... throwing spaghetti at me. You're still not making any sense. I'm stupid. Talk to me like I'm a 4-year-old. Please. I just got here. You can't give me some refrigerating. That's it. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not the Taliban, are we? Darn. Oh no, a child? He tried to kill a child? No, wait. The child died. Never mind. We're good. It's not a car. It's a truck, for one. And two, look, we finally made it back. Oh no. Ah! I win. In the end, this thing reigns superior. To all your for all your automotive needs, please contact Help Me Lord, I'm in the open. I'm in the open in an open top. This is not exactly a smart move, but okay. Here comes the bombs. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the bombs, and I say, I'm not on that. Here comes the tank. Doo-doo-doo-doo. No. No! I refuse to die! Ah! 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 I'm on fire! Help me, please! Hi. It's okay, guys. I didn't have a mental breakdown in the middle of a battlefield. Did I turn into a kamikaze for a moment? No. Hey Bean, how did you like my reenactment of average Italian charging method? Totally realistic. Why do I hear Russians? I keep hearing Russians. Why do I keep hearing Russians? I hate hearing Russian tanks. Dude, you've got to not be a Russian tank, okay? Russians scare me right now. I do got to give the guy credit, though. He is sitting here waiting on the enemy to show up so he can shoot something, so I'll give him credit for that. He's being a bold soldier. Where did Bean go? I feel alone now. Everybody stop talking. Except me. I never stop talking. I never shut up. That's my one flaw. That's what makes people hate me, I think. Because I never shut up. Y'all think I'm joking, but I'm pretty sure that's why so many people hate me, is because I never shut up. Oh, I was about to shoot that guy. Just gonna drive in here, it's fine. Sir, that's not how you airplane. Hi, KV-1. I shall cover these roads. United we stand, divided we fall. I don't know. I'm mentally ill. Hold that thought. That doesn't sound friendly. You know, I personally prefer this Sherman VC to the other one. Although the other one does get APDS, so happy days. But I just think this one just looks nicer. It's the combination of like 3 different tanks into one, and it's the perfect combination. Because you got a Sherman 105, M4A4, or excuse me, hold on, M4A1, M4A5, and the Sherman Firefly turret. So, yeah, 3 different tanks in one. I tell you guys to ask Bean, but Bean's not here. She disappeared again. Bean could tell you, because Bean's all about that Italian history, considering she's Italian, so she can tell you stuff I couldn't even dream of telling you. So like for reference, quote unquote, this is the regular Sherman Firefly. This is what they did to it. Okay, so you got an M4A1 frontal hull right here. The rear end is actually, let me see if I have it. I believe this is it here. Yeah, they kind of did it with this one too. No, hold on, here's the M4A4. Here's the M4A4 chassis, of course. You can see where it's at, yeah. Okay. So they took that hull, mounted the M4A1 chassis to it on the front. I'm assuming they probably cut the front end off and did it that way. I don't know. I'm not an expert on this stuff. I don't know how they did it. And then they took a Sherman Firefly's gun and turret and put it on top, thus combining 3 different Shermans into one and making it the most formidable Sherman in the game, in my opinion. Although they left the freaking British engine that they put in that thing, and I hate that thing so much, it's not even funny. Bro gets mad over gray area and sexual assault. What? That is the weirdest question or statement I've ever seen, but okay. I'm just going to ignore it exists and keep going. Also, I hate this map. Yay, Bean is back. We were just talking about like the Sherman, the 47 Sherman and all that Italy made. You know, the 3 different Shermans in one? That one? The one we were talking about the other day? Hey, buddy! Hi! Tell him, Bean. Tell him it's 3 different Shermans in one. I love the fact that a VK just murdered an M24 with no remorse. Okay, is everybody just driving without, like, watching where they're going? Bro, I just watched a tank appear out of nowhere. Bro said, dive, dive, dive. Why? Oh my, oh my. Bonk. Track. I'll take a track. I'm just gonna smack his track the rest of the match, I guess. Bonk. Yep. I'm just gonna do that the rest of the match, I guess. I'll take it. I like the Tipo Sherman. I think it's the best Sherman that they have in the game. Oh, wow, you missed. Bonk. I missed. Okay. Okay, did you have to make bro explode? Oh, come on. That would have made contact, too. Hey, I just realized they're on A. You know, there's actually several different, like, Sherman and Russian variant, or Sherman and T-34 variant tanks. Like, the Egyptians got some T-34s. They mounted, like, a 122 on it. And it's like, it looks like it's, like, got the side and the front on it, but it, like, looks like it would be an open top type design. I want that thing in War Thunder. I want to play that. I want that thing. Please. A 122 on a T-34 chassis just sounds like menacing destruction at best, or at its best. Because you get the mobility of a T-34, and the gun power of virtually an IS-2. So, I mean, you get the best of both worlds on that. They have a 105 on a Sherman. It's called the M51. In my opinion, one of the best looking and best playing commander loader. Of course, there's also like the short barrel what I like to call the short barrel 75. There's that one. Oh, that I didn't realize he was frontal. There we go. Loader cannon breech. Hey, where are you going? Where are you going? Hey, I'm right here, doofus. Are you... Well, he wasn't blind. The German was blind. The German was blind. The Sherman was not. I want the Vigilante. I think it was a U.S.'s first ever Gatlin triple, bigger millimeter, if I recall it. I don't know. I haven't really studied that much into the Shermans or the T-34s or any of that stuff. My favorite tank of all time will always be the M3 Lee and M3 Grant. Those are my favorite ones because they are the parents of the Sherman in essence, because if you look up why they were made, it was quite literally used as a placeholder for the Sherman until they could get the Sherman turret and everything set up the way they wanted it. It was quite literally meant to be a placeholder, and even the Germans got one, and the Germans hated going against the thing. I'll tell you that now. Like, the 75 annihilated their tanks, and the 37 annihilated anything that was freaking infantry, so needless to say, they hated going against the thing. But then, like, they captured one later on, and they found out, like, all the weak spots and everything for it, and it blew their mind at how many weak spots and all the thing had. Okay. Dude, I'm just watching a tiger just drive off like I don't exist. I bet you he knows I got, I exist now. Uh-oh. Wait a second. Okay, he's dead. I'm waiting on a bomb, honestly. I hear a child, though. That's what I'm scared of the most. Stay away from me. I hear you over there. Stay away. Stay away, you little brat. Hey, it's okay. I'll save you. Let's go. Let's get you to the point. No, friend, not food. Friend, not. Okay, he was trying to kill me. Thank you. I was trying to be nice to the little one, and he tried to kill me for it. It was mean. He's a meanie. He likes bullying people. I don't care what anyone says. I think the M3 Lee was the ultimate infantry fighting vehicle. I mean, the thing had 2 cannons, which made it perfect for the role, for one. And then anti-infantry is like easy as all get out for the thing. But the funny thing is, they mock it, but yet it murdered like tons and tons of panzers with no issue. I will defend my M3 Lee simply because of the fact I know who it's named after, but Robert E. Lee of the Confederate Army. Whatever, I'm done with this conversation. Pisses me off when people talk shit about my favorite damn tank. But yet they get pissed off when I talk shit about their stuff too. Just pisses me off that people show so much fucking respect for the Sherman, but yet had the M3 Lee not been fucking created, there would have never been enough time to make the Sherman so perfect in everyone's eyes. No respect at all. I got news for every damn body. The fucking Sherman's weak as hell too. Only thing that saved this piece of shit is the fact that you could roll it out in high numbers. And I'm sorry, I don't respect a tank that's named after a fucking murderer and rapist. The asshole that this tank is named after went through the South, murdered, pillaged, raped. Southern homes. Southern women, and they dare name a fucking tank after the son of a bitch. That's why even though the Sherman is a nice tank to play in the game, I'll never fucking like it as much as I do the M3 Lee or the M3 Grant, because at least Lee and Grant had respect for one another. Hell, they knew each other before the Civil War, and when they signed the peace treaty after the Civil War, Grant and Lee acted like they were friends, even though they fought on different sides. That's respect. How the fuck can you respect somebody who goes into homes, steals their shit, kills children, rapes wives, and leaves, burning fields, making it completely impossible for us to build ourselves back up afterwards? It took years after the Civil War for it to happen because of his ass. So yes, it does rub me raw when people respect the Sherman a little bit more than they do the Lee, because of the asshole that it's named after. People call the South evil during the Civil War. We're nothing compared to Sherman. Went into homes under Abraham Lincoln's fucking order, by the way. Destroyed crops, which, from what I understand, Abraham Lincoln's orders to him were burn the fields so they couldn't have more supplies and take the supplies from their homes. He said nothing about raping and murdering, but yet Sherman thought it was okay to do so. And the motherfucker saw no fucking punishment for it either. So does it rub me raw? Yes, it rubs me so fucking raw. Freaking Robert E. Lee and Grant had more respect for not only themselves but for their damn soldiers than freaking Sherman ever had time to care, give a shit, or anything. Murdering bastard. The point still stands. He allowed the shit to happen. Man will never have any fucking respect from this southerner. Just like Lincoln doing a fucking blockade because he knew he was getting his ass handed to him. That's the whole fucking reason Lincoln had them do all that shit, was because of the fact he was having his ass handed to him and he knew it. The South was beating the hell out of him in the beginning of the war. You can look the fucking records up for that one too. The moment he put that fucking blockade up like a fucking coward, he started fucking winning the war. What people fail to realize, the one thing that they don't teach in schools anymore, is the South had a military advantage because most of the soldiers chose to fight for the South during the Civil War, and most of them had went to what was that freaking military school that they had back then? Yeah, from what I understand, even the British Empire were trying to help the South. Of course, there was an ulterior motive to it, but from what I understand, the deal was between the British Empire and the South. If the South won, they would allow for the British to control them again. So quite literally, the South was willing to sell their freedom just so they wouldn't lose a fucking war, which is dumb as hell in my opinion, but I still say the fucking... Oh, not this again. Please, no. Would it have killed them to put a stabilizer on their shit? It's not a subject I like getting into because, as you can see, it ends up drawing very not so nice lines in friendships. Because the fact that everybody fucking supports the North because the fact, oh, they freed the slaves. But yet they had a whole fucking battalion of African Americans who died fighting for the cause, and what did they do? They buried them all in a hole, didn't give them any awards or anything for what they did. But yet the South, or the South are the bad guys here? Yeah, okay. Didn't pay them fairly. A white man got paid more than they did. They didn't even get brand new clothing. They had shit that had came from dead people. Worn out pieces of clothing and shit. But yet the South is the evil ones here in this story. The South is always the evil ones. But yet, all the racism and all the problem places are mostly in the North. Hi. Please shoot me. Thank you. My turn. See, we can do this all day. Whee! It's best for friendships and everything else if we drop this damn conversation. This is one subject that I will break friendships up over. Because I get sick of people always fucking covering for the North and their wrongdoings. Oh, my driver. Hi, Achilles. I'm sorry. Can you please let me live? I didn't think so. Everybody always defends the North. They were doing it for the right reason. Yeah, okay, whatever. Will I agree that I think it was childish that the South was too fucking lazy to actually get regular people rather than slaves to do that shit? Yes. I think that was very childish, very stupid. But everybody seems to think, that, the South was fighting for slaves. Abraham Lincoln turned it into about slavery. You can read it. I don't remember where it was, but Abraham Lincoln has been quoted that if he could have ended the war without freeing a single slave, he would have. Abraham Lincoln didn't give a shit about the slaves. Everybody thinks he does, but he didn't. All he cared about was making the Union whole again. Sherman, no, wait, hold on, is that an M10 or a Sherman? Doesn't matter, he's dead. Oh, you've got to be again? Shot in the back. I hate getting shot in the back. Hey, doofus, I'm still here. You're not. Should've... Oh, well. Neither am I. Yay. It boggles my mind how many people defend the North in everything that they did, saying that it was for the best of the nation and everything. Okay, so I will admit it was Democrats that did the Jim Crow laws, and unfortunately the South was big on Democrats and everything. The other thing I hate about the South, apparently Abraham Lincoln was a Republican, but Jim Crow laws, and all this other stuff, you know. But when yes, the South was, after the war especially, very racist towards black people. But yet, as Martin Luther King Jr. was marching towards D.C. to give his I had a dream speech, he wasn't just dealing with hate from the South, he was dealing with hate from the North as well. Look at all the crap that goes on nowadays. It's not mainly in the South. Most of the crap you read about, the killings, the shootings, it's northern states. I'm just saying, people hate on the South because of something we did years ago, but yet they fail to see how drastically we've changed and how drastically the North changed. And to be honest, it wasn't too drastic anyway. What people don't realize, and this is me not being pissed off or anything, what people don't realize is that even after the war and during the war, hell, even during the war, a black man that worked in the North was not paid as much as a white man was. He was treated like shit because of the fact he was a different color. There were few families that treated black people with the same respect as they did a white person in the North. But nobody talks about that because of the fact it's been erased from the history books. Nobody talks about that part. It's, oh, the South had slaves. The South did this. The South did that. The South is made to be the bad guy when both the North and the South played a role in being the bad guy. For instance, from what I understand, Robert E. Lee inherited an estate from his father, slaves and everything. He let them go. He did not own those slaves. He let them be free. Grant, on the other hand, owned slaves, kept them, from what I understand. My point is, with saying that, it wasn't about slavery. Because if it was, the people who owned slaves would have been on the side of the South, not on the North. The Civil War was a stupid war. I'll be the first one to tell you. But I still feel that Abraham Lincoln did us dirty. Abraham Lincoln did the South dirty, and from what I understand, the reason that South Carolina, the state I live in, seceded first, from what I understand, it was because of the fact that the South started to feel like we weren't fairly represented in everything. And when it came to Congress and everything, at least that's from what I understand. I don't know how true that is. I haven't looked into it. I don't really give a shit. The point is I'm proud that my state was the first one to say, fuck this government. Y'all are fucking screwed as hell. We're going to make our own fucking government. We were the first ones to actually exercise that right given to us by the Constitution. So hate me all you want for having an opinion. But my state was bold enough to do the thing first. And look at what it got us. Retaliation. The American Civil War proved to everybody it is stupid to try and go against the United States government. Because it won't get you anywhere. Except shit on for 200 plus years. So you can hate me for flying my Confederate flag all you want to, but I fly it for a different reason. I fly it in remembrance because of the fact my state wasn't afraid to stand up against a government that was seen as corrupt. I fly my flag for the men that fought and died for what they believed in. And yet, that flag gets shit on all the damn time. And that's what gets me the most. Because when people see that flag, they immediately label you as a racist. And the funny thing is, I see people being mostly in the comments talking about Italy supported this and nations supported that. From what I understand, no fucking body did any damn thing. The U.S. did most of our own shit. While yes, people supported us from other places, like, yeah, you go the Union or you go the South. Nobody fucking helped us. The only ones that were actually trying to help were the British. And they got blockaded, so they had to turn and go home. My point still stands, though, Bean. The South was kicking the North's ass. I just loaded 55 different fucking shells. Wow, okay, I'm screwed now. I will continue to say to the day I die that the South was kicking the North's ass, so they played unfairly. Set up a blockade. Of course, everybody's going to defend it. It's a tactic in war. It was a fear. They set up the blockade because they were afraid if the British gave us the munitions that we needed, we'd kick their ass. You ask me, if the South would have won, it wouldn't be no worse off than we are now. Except for the fact we'd probably own slaves, which I don't agree with, but again, that's not what that war was about. That's what it was made about. That's what it's taught that it was about. But in reality, that's not what that war was about. Not if you read into it enough. You learn that it had nothing to do with the fucking slaves. Because Abraham Lincoln himself quoted, like I said, if he could have ended the war without freeing not one slave, he would have done so. He didn't give a shit about them. I don't like the Confederacy being shit on. And, people talk shit about the M3 Lee, but yet they were the ones that decided to produce it. I'm not here. I don't exist. No. Help me. Crusader, a tiger's molesting me. Please, Mr. Tiger, I'll leave. I won't come back. I promise. I'll just leave. Now there's another. Oh my, autoloader. Hi. See, what a lot of people don't realize, though, and I find this fucking hilarious as hell. Alright. During the Civil War, the U.S. had not one decent fighting vessel. Most of the shit that the U.S. had was ironclads that still used old cannons and stuff. From what I understand, Britain was way more advanced at this time, and they were starting to put their cannons and shit in turrets and stuff. I don't know how true it is. I don't really care. But the point is like America likes to play it off like, well, we've always been big and bad. Like, motherfucker, we had to ask the French for fucking help during the Revolutionary War. We're not strong. Excuse me. Hey. Hey, you. Hey. Hey, you. Hey. Hey. Dumbass, you should have listened. America has a false sense of pride for something they shouldn't be prideful over. That's our biggest issue. Oh, I wanted to shoot the tank. Oh well. Wait, is that a tank? Oh my. That there be a tank. And that tank has access to Heat FS, so I'm a little scared of him, but we're gonna try it anyway. Hey, Crusader, I might die here. If I die here, just leave me to die. Where'd he go? He was just here. Oh shit. Hi, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. I know I'm pissing people off with saying the shit I am. I know I am. Hell, I probably made Bean so pissed at me she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. It aggravates me how much the South gets shit on all the time. And I see people all the time talking shit about the M3 Lee and the M3 Grant. But yet, they were mass-produced. They weren't as mass-produced as the Sherman, granted. I mean, you know, they were a placeholder, more or less. But people underestimate the damn thing, and that's what pisses me off the most. Like, they underestimate it like hell. I know everything in War Thunder isn't accurate or anything, but the M3 Lee and the M3 Grant had its uses. I mean, I don't know how true it is. You know, there was a picture that got uploaded from the Tank Museum not too long ago. Ow! Again with the breach! And it looked like a Grant. M3 Grant, and the British had took it, and some people were saying that it was still the 37 mil, but they put a tube over it to make it look like a 75. But they had took off the 75 from the hull, and it was gone, and they were calling it a commander's version of a Grant or whatever, and apparently, like, it got done to both the Lee and the Grant variants. And when I saw it, you know, and there are other things that the M3 Lee and Grant got used for, like the M7 Priest, that's an M3 Lee chassis. The M3 Lee is just as versatile, and I don't give a shit what anyone says, is just as versatile of a tank and can be used for multiple roles just as much as a Sherman can. But nobody used it. But if you look at like records and shit, like a lot of the crews of the tanks and everything, where did that shell even go? Well, it doesn't matter now. But a lot of the crews of the tanks said that they loved the M3 Lee and M3 Grants simply because of how large they were. They had more room in them. I mean, dear God, like the M3 Lee has 7 crewmen, but it's a beefy tank. Compared to the M2, which has a 37 mil horrible turret traverse, and you're crammed in a box with like 6 dudes. Well, 5 dudes if you don't include yourself. Like, that's uncomfortable. Nobody would want to use it. Nobody. At least nobody's sane. The M3 Lee, on the other hand, hell, I'll even pull the shit up. Alright, M2 right here. Alright, and I have both of them. There's the M2. Alright. Old, shitty piece of junk engine. Little rinky-dink 37 mil. But you see how much room there isn't in this tank. Everybody's fucking uncomfortable as hell in this tank, right? Alright, well, I don't know how well warthunder is going to portray it or not, but look at that. There's room to move in there. Yeah, there's room to move. And people dare say that it's a upgraded version of the M2. Bullshit. That is a, like, fucking... what a lot of people say is it's a bottom of a Sherman chassis, which when you look at like the M4A1, I definitely see like the transmission and everything being just that. But the M3 Lee to me is a better platform simply because of the fact that it is perfect for infantry support. You got 2 guns, you got, let's see, 2 machine guns here, which of course in the game they don't freaking do anything. And then you got machine gun here, and your commander, which is one of the things the British asked to remove, by the way, has the little machine gun up here. A lot of people were arguing that the reason that the British didn't like the M3 Lee was because of the fact that it had a radio operator. So they ended up getting the M3 Grant, which is this thing. Also, I have an Australian camouflage on it. And as you can see, they changed up the turret, but it has the same gun, same cannon on it, same everything. The only difference is it takes away a crewman, which is the radio operator, and there's no longer that big old top machine gun there, which, in my opinion, makes this thing look goofy as hell, but, you know, whatever. I always found it more interesting reading about the M3 Lee than ever reading about the Sherman, because basically it's every damn book is the same. The Sherman was a good tank. It has no flaws. It could mount any damn thing you want. It has no flaws. Meanwhile, M3 Lee, it's a piece of shit. Didn't do shit. Wasn't used. The hell? And I find it funny that it wasn't even America that actually named the M3 Lee, the M3 Lee, and the M3 Grant, the M3 Grant. It was actually the British that started naming I'm not talking about you, Bean. I'm just talking about people in general just shitting on the damn thing. I cannot tell you how many people shit on the damn thing in comments. That's one of the things I found that was funny. Like, from what I understand, I think the Lee, the Grant, the Sherman, I think even the Chaffee were all named by the British. And then America started adopting the idea of naming our tanks, and then we started naming them ourselves. And of course the Abrams came into existence. And I'm not mad that the British chose the Lee as a, because it was honestly, I like the fact that the British did that because it was a respectful thing in remembrance of both Lee and Grant. And I thought that was probably the funniest thing for me, is they named the American version the Lee, and then the British version was the Grant. Henceforth kind of hinting at the idea that they were friends or something. And what people don't realize is Grant and Lee were friends before the Civil War. They had lost contact with one another when the Civil War ended or began, and then they met one another. And from what I understand from soldier reports that were in the room when they were signing the treaty, they were sitting there talking to each other like old friends. Like there was no tension in that room. There was no hate for anybody. And what a lot of people don't realize either is had Lee had more men, he would have never surrendered. Lee ended up giving up, not because of the fact that he wanted to, but because of the fact that, hello there. He gave up because of the fact that after the Battle of Gettysburg, he had lost so many men. He wanted families to be able to have their husbands back. It was a moral thing for him as to why he surrendered. And for that, he will always hold my respect, because he wasn't putting the war in front of these men's lives like a lot of commanders would have. Really? Of course, I should have known. Oh, he went for the right spot there too. Look at that. Right through that breathing hole. Ouch. It just, I don't know, it aggravates me seeing people talk shit about the M3 Lee and the M3 Grant. Like, it's not just one of them either that they talk shit about, it's both of them. And that's the funny thing. To me, at least. Like, that's the funny thing. Like, it's both of them that they talk shit about. And it's like, mofo, the fucking British wanted the Grant. That's what they got. So, you know, you want to blame somebody or some shit, you know, blame the British, because that's the one. Those are the ones that wanted that shit looking like it did. Why me? No, not again. Why do I even bring this thing out? This thing's best at customs at best. It's worthless anywhere else. I don't know, guys. It just... I know I'm rambling at this point, and I'm sorry. I find it interesting how, like, all the Army reports and shit read that the M3 Lee was a completely useless piece of shit tank, but yet a lot of them were produced, a lot of them were used, and when they first hit the battlefield, they were a very formidable opponent to the Germans. The Germans could not figure out how to kill them. But once they finally did, that's when the M3 Lees started to suffer. Same thing with the Grants. When they first hit the battlefield, kind of like with the Sherman, they were a very formidable opponent. Because nobody knew anything about them. Kind of like the Tiger, you know, nobody knew anything about them, and then once they figured it out, they started dying quicker, you know. The M3 Lee is just another example of a tank that it just took for somebody to figure out how to kill it. But yet it gets more shit on than any other tank ever. It's considered one of the ugliest tanks to ever exist. considered one of the more useless tanks to ever exist. And it's like, okay, whatever. Just doesn't bode well with me hearing people talk crap about it, because, you know, it was designed for a reason, and it served its purpose, and it doesn't get recognized for it. I don't know if this is true or not. As a matter, I don't even know if this is true or not, but I would love for it to be true. I think that there was actually a legit M3 Lee that ended up rolling into Berlin. And if that's true, that's crazy to think about, because these things came into action. I don't know when they came into action actually, but like they came into action and like they had been out in the fields for years. So you got to think about it. The crew of that tank probably had so many off-brand parts from like Shermans and shit. And see, that's one of the things I love about the M3 Lee. You know, you could take like an M4A1, hell, even an M4A2, and you could take parts off of it and fix the M3 Lee if you needed to, or vice versa. You couldn't do that with the M4A3 or the M4A4 for that matter, because those were obviously Lend-Lease tanks. You couldn't do that because the M4A3, what do you mean she wasn't the one? World War II, what the hell do you mean, bro? You just fucking met her, dude. This is exactly why I say you don't need to rush into shit. Excuse my French. You know, this is when a woman's touch would be great. Bean, get in here! Are you sure it was her? You gotta be sure before you go and make assumptions, bro. Also, out of respect, I won't give you the biggest I told you so ever. I'm sure she has brunette hair. Dude, do you realize how many girls, period, have brunette hair? I would rethink before you decide to yeet yourself into the abyss of darkness, alright? Oh shit, he's pissed. I don't think he knew where the shot came from or something. What? Bro just wiggled his way out of a death. Nuh-uh. Die. I've never seen someone do a death wiggle that much trying to survive. My girlfriend always wore boots. Okay, so all of a sudden now you can see her feet on the inside of a truck. And if she wasn't the one, why are you still labeling her as your girlfriend, bro? Just asking. Not trying to be an ass, just asking. Also, it is 8:19. I gotta go give my brother something to, or I gotta go give my brother his medicine. I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Whew. Sorry it took a little. Hold that. My mom is calling. Hold on.
Nei veicoli! Prepararsi! Carlista pronto! Artigliere pronto! Caricatore pronto!
I've never rage quit that fast, but that pissed me off. I'm sorry. Not that anybody gives a shit, because I don't even think anybody's fucking paying attention. You know, I might eventually get into a 1-7 match tonight. Or not. I don't really care anymore. Not like there's anybody actually watching anyway. Bean probably got pissed off and left. World War II's probably doing something. Crusader, I don't even know. And I don't know who else is watching, so. Alone again, naturally. No big deal. I'm used to it at this point. if I'm even streaming anymore at that point. Of course, no air brake. Why would the French put an air brake on an actual aircraft? That would make no sense. We should put it on a tank, says France. Freaking morons. Guys, I'm sorry if y'all guys find my opinions on stuff unpopular opinion and all that, but you know. when it comes to military stuff, I hate seeing the M3 Lee and Grant getting hated on, even though they did the jobs they were supposed to do, which was be a placeholder for the Sherman until they came into production. And even after, if you really look at records and stuff, even after the Sherman came into production, the M3 Lee was still getting used in the South Africa campaign. It was still being used. It got converted majorly. Like I hear that some of them got there, like I said earlier, the 75 got took off of them and stuff. But, you know, it was still being used. And it enrages me when I see people online a lot, and I see it online more than I do anywhere else. They talk crap about the M3 Lee, but yet they don't realize that it wasn't really meant to be that frontline combat vehicle to begin with. It was meant to be, like I've put it, infantry support. Nothing crazy, just, you know, basically be there to like take machine gun fire and light tank fire for the infantry so that the infantry can stay safe. If anyone's ever watched the movie Sahara with James Belushi in it, I have it right here, and they use an M3 Lee in there. And in this film, the M3 Lee, in the beginning of the film, it's broken down, of course. You know, M3 Lees are infamous for breaking down and stuff, but they fix it. And apparently, the M3 Lees were very particular with the mixture because they had, I think, if I remember correctly, a gas oil mixture or gas water mixture. I can't remember which one it was. And in the movie, you can tell the commander of the tank is talking about how she likes it a certain way or whatever, and the tank cranks up and they get moving, and they end up picking up an Italian, I think an African officer, a British, an Aussie, an Australian, and several different other people. And then a German pilot tries to shoot them. Let me finish this and I'll give my opinion on that. And I don't know if you're going to like it very much or not, but hopefully it won't make us like block each other or anything. But in the film, the German pilot gets shot down. They shoot the German pilot out. And then they take him prisoner, and they're all traveling, and they're all running out of water because, you know, that was the big theme of the movie, you know, finding water in the desert. Like, it's an impossible thing. And from what I remember in the film, they end up finding like this old palace looking thing. It looked really cool. I would have loved to have lived there, just not the whole living in the desert thing. Just, it's very nice. And the Germans they're looking for water too, and the M3 Lee ends up going against, and you know, they of course are being infantry, and the M3 Lee ends up going against like a half track and a buttload of infantry, and it just dominates the battlefield against them. But in the movie it mentions that they want to take the M3 Lee and march it into Berlin and stuff like that. And I wonder sometimes if they actually succeeded. Because the movie ends, I think, with about near everyone dying, or... Yeah, it was like about near everyone died, I think. But, they ended up getting away and all, so... But anyway, you're talking about you only shit on them because they rolled into Italy and quite a few of their units did war crimes on Italians who surrendered and civilians. I do not condone those supposed military officers doing those crimes. I know for a fact that war crimes were committed by Americans just as much as they were anyone else. But if I'm being honest, I don't think I don't know. In my opinion is strictly this, and I hope you don't hate me on it. Maybe Italy should have thought about that before they decided to just go and basically lay down in bed with Germany. I know the civilians had nothing to do with that, and most of the time the military officers didn't either. But, and like I said, I do not condone what these American military people did. It's not right, and I feel like they should all be court-martialed for it. But a lot of them... Yeah, America never really cared about anybody, really. If we're being honest, like, it surprised me. Yeah, like I said, I don't condone that stuff. And see, the funny thing was, and I think you'd be kind of a little bit happy to find out that this happened in this film that I'm talking about. The Italian ended up helping out the Americans because he decided, he wanted to go home to see his family. That was what he was focusing on. That was what he wanted to do. He wanted to go home and see his family. Well, the German guy tried to convince him to turn against the Americans, and the dude had already told the Americans, like, I don't want to go against you guys anymore. I'm sick of this. I don't want to do this anymore. And the German guy was planning on doing something, and the Italian guy tried to warn him. And what ended up happening is the German guy killed the Italian guy. What a lot of people don't realize is, while America, yes, we killed a lot of Italians, unfortunately, and everything, the Germans were forceful to the Italians a lot, and it was wrong. And it made me mad in that movie, because when I watch a film, to me it doesn't matter where you come from. It's the actions in which you do that make me like you or not. And that Italian proved himself more than any man there, because he quite literally laid down his life to keep these Americans safe. And for that Italian had I feel like a lot of that is a lot of Patton's doing, because if you remember correctly, it was Patton and I think Montgomery. Like, those were the two big ones in the South Africa thing. Like, those were the two big ones for the South Africa campaign. Those were the two big guys for that. So yeah, that was more of a Patton thing. Patton was all about getting there before Montgomery was. Like, it was like a whole political thing between those two. Like, Patton hated Montgomery, Montgomery hated Patton, and it was just a whole thing at that point. And it's, like, honestly childish and stupid, but yeah, everybody's kind of using the excuse of school right now because the fact school's starting back for everybody, so whatever, FME. I don't remember, like I said, Bean, I don't remember, but either way, but see, the funny thing is the Canadians committed a lot of war crimes from what I remember, from what I understand too, but yet they don't, like, nobody talks about it. Like in World War I, all right, everybody recalls the Christmas truce. Well, from what I understand, from what I understand, during the Christmas truce, Canadian soldiers, yeah, but being a war criminal in one war makes you a war criminal forever. That's why so many people hate Japan. But anyway, the German soldiers, and I think it was British soldiers, you know, they were just chilling, having fun and everything for Christmas, and this random, I don't know if it was 1, 2, however many Canadians went over to the German trenches and shot and killed Germans. And that's why it ended up coming into effect that you weren't allowed to truce with anybody or go over to the enemy's trench or whatever like that because of that. I'm sorry, I have no respect for somebody that does that, ever. Like, I get it, you know, you had nothing to do with it. As a Canadian of modern day, yes, I understand, you had nothing to do with it. But the fact that Canada tries to hide the fact that it happened is what bothers me so much. But I won't be the one that says that America doesn't hide a lot of shit too, because I didn't find out until I was in, like, I think 10th grade, that America had Japanese American camps, and it was like the Holocaust all over again for the Japanese Americans. Worse in some cases. So, you know, I don't condone anybody for doing the things that they do to other people. I don't care what nationality you are. You don't do stuff like that to people. There's actually a book. I can't remember what the book's name is or anything, but I remember my teacher talking about it. And the teacher was talking about how it's a book from an actual Japanese American, I think it was a kid or something, and it's detailed what they went through. And in the book, it talks about how the well were put in the same buildings with the sick. They were fed food with maggots and stuff in it. It was just like horrible living conditions. Like, I will be the first one to tell you that America is not an innocent nation by any means. But I'm also the kind of person that doesn't play sides either. Like with the South and the North, okay? I'm aware of the things the South did. Okay? But I love pointing out the things that the North did because nobody wants to hear about it, because everybody has always heard that the North has always been the good guy in the Civil War. They were always the good guy. But nobody loves to point out what they did wrong. Nobody. Nobody points it out at all. So I take it upon myself to do so, and it pisses people off. I honestly believe it pisses people off when I tell the story of what the Union did. Like, as I said earlier, the whole African American regiment. There's a movie, I think I have it actually. I might not, I don't know for sure. But I think the movie was called Glory, or something like that. I know I have the a Hunley movie about the Hunley. But I think the movie I'm thinking about is called Glory. Hold on a minute, my dogs are going nuts. I'm hoping those bombs hit. If not, oh well, I tried. I don't know how well those are going to hit. Those might actually hit, actually. Maybe. Nope. I don't see where those men were chickens. Scared, maybe, but not chickens. They knew what they signed up for when they signed up for it. They became stronger as a unit, yes, but not chickens. That's what aggravates me more than anything else, too. People calling others chickens. It's like, okay, whatever. But, in the movie Glory, you see these African American soldiers that volunteer now. I believe all of them were volunteers. Some of them might have been forced. Come on, buddy, if you're coming. And they sign up to go and fight for the Union, of course, because we want to free our brothers and things like that. And they go and they're training and everything, and all the white regiments look down upon them, every single one of them. And then because they were guaranteed that they'd get paid. Well, when they got paid, and this is what pissed me off the most about this movie, other than what I'll tell you in a minute. When they got paid, they were getting paid less than a white soldier was. So, that was wrong in every way possible, in my opinion. Oh, Lord. Hopefully the landing gear don't have that problem. Oh, boy. Alright, well, we're coming in hot, I guess. But I think the thing that gets me about the film, because they're getting paid less than a white soldier would, of course, as I said, and their commander gets paid more than anybody, which that's standard. But he decides, he goes, if my men don't, I don't know if that's actually standard or not, I don't know, but he goes, well, if my men aren't going to get paid fair wages, I'm not going to accept this. And I believe he rips his check in half or something like that. I can't remember exactly how it went. And all of these African American soldiers follow suit. They rip their checks up and everything, and they go on about their business. Well, at the end of the film, they volunteer to go first. They charge in, being the brave soldiers they know they can be and all, right? And they get murdered. They just get mowed down by the South. You watch them fall like dominoes. And at the end of the film, you see them being buried in just a hole. And matter of fact, I can go to the hole, or just the place where they're buried at, matter of fact. Like, it's still there to this day. It's in South Carolina. Yet another place that's in South Carolina I can go and see. I can go see Fort Sumter for a price, and I can go see that place as well. But my thing is, and I think this is what bothers me the most, they were, like you were saying, they requested to remove the general and a few others, and most of it was white soldiers. I love the fact that they requested for them to stay where they're at. The general that they assigned to those men grew so attached to them, he refused to do certain things. But he was so confident in his men at the end that he put them in the line of fire. And while many others will say that he did it just to kill them, they all volunteered to go first. They all wanted to prove that they were worth saving, that they were worth everything. And see, the bad thing is, African Americans have been hated on for years. World War I, World War II. World War II was probably worse, because you don't really hear a lot of stories from World War I about it. But World War II is the biggest one. They were told that they were too stupid. There's no way a monkey can fly. That was one of the biggest ones that I've heard. And it honestly, it pisses me off, because it's like, the Tuskegee Airmen proved themselves that they were better at everything than a white pilot was. They were better at it. Go watch Red Tails and you'll understand what I mean. But they were better at it. While American pilots were going off for fighter kills, the Tuskegee Airmen were sticking with the bombers that they were assigned to escort. Yeah, I agree. And see, the funny thing is, that is true, thinking about it now, about the African Americans in World War I, because there's a story in Battlefield 1. Matter of fact, it's either Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 2. It's one of the two. I think it's Battlefield 1. Pretty sure it is. I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong. Actually, no, it is Battlefield 2. No, Battlefield 5 is where the World War II one is. But I think there's also a story about an African American one in there. Called us greasers or slops. I've never heard that. That's why I've never acknowledged it. I've never heard that y'all ever got called that. Like, I know for a fact that, like, in America, there were, like, two different groups, the Socias and the Greasers, but, like, I never, who came to the U.S. to serve. Oh. I feel like a lot of people don't highlight it enough. There was a lot of racism. There was a lot of racism going on in World War I and World War II. People just don't acknowledge it as much as they should. And I think that's what pisses me off the most. Like, you need to acknowledge that it happened. Admit that you did wrong, you know? Don't try and hide it away like it never happened. The term redneck, a racist term. Hell, we adopted that. We adopted that nickname. Uh-oh. Dude, I'm gonna get lit up like a Christmas tree. Oh wait, P40, 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 P40. Get over here, come on. Help me! Never mind, let me get lit on fire. It's completely fine. I'm okay. Come on, seal the leak, seal the leak. I think I've lost controls. Yep, I lost all control on the wings. Great. Alright, so if we can put this fire out, we're okay, right? We're okay, right? No? Okay. Tree. Hey, look, another tree. Racism has been in this world a lot longer than people want to admit. And that's the thing that really gets me, I think, is like people don't want to admit that it's been here as long as it has. Like, it happened, there's nothing we can really do about it. But I will say this, like, America has slightly gotten better about it. Like, you don't see it as much down here in the South with the racism stuff anymore. Like, I live in a mostly black county, or black, I don't know if it's a city or not. I don't know if they considered this one that I live in a city or not. Mostly black town, we'll say that. I'll admit this to you, Bean. You know a lot more about history than I do. But it seems like a lot of yours focuses on like the wrongdoings of everybody. I just try and find good stories that we can share that bring us happiness instead of making everybody feel down about our own sad, miserable lives. Wait, does the thing? Of course it doesn't. Like, unfortunately, in researching the stuff that I do, you do find out, things that you wish you wouldn't. But, that's my problem. Yeah, that's the issue. Many good stories aren't known. Well, here's a good story. Well, at least from the American perspective. What do you know about the USS Laffey? And see, there's another good story from Germany too. Schindler's List is a movie. And I love that movie. I really do, because it shows that not every German viewed Jews as just, you know, whatever. Most damaged ship of the Pacific, never sunk. Nope, she's not sunk now. She sits in a harbor. I'm going to see her. I'll take pictures. Of course, they ended up... The funny thing is about the Laffey... And apparently there's different Laffey variants from what I understand. You know, the Laffey that sits in the harbor now wasn't the first ever Laffey. I think the first one was like an escort destroyer or something like that. But they used it... they used it in, I think, Vietnam. I think they used it. They used it in Korea. Matter of fact, the way that it's fitted now, it has a remote-controlled scout helicopter inside instead of the torpedo tubes. The torpedo tubes got moved, and they're now in like little things on the side of the deck that launch off the top deck and go into the water. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff different about the Laffey compared to its World War II look, but it's still the same ship. The ship that would not die is what they call it, or wouldn't sink, something like that. And then of course the Yorktown, which is a rebuilt model, the original sitting on the ocean floor right now. And see, that's what upsets me. Like, people confuse the Yorktown that's here now to the one that was actually like sunk. And I feel like a lot of people, like, shoot, I even did it at first. Like, I thought it was still alive, and then I found out that it's a remake and a rename of an old vessel, basically in remembrance of the Laffey, or not the Laffey, but the Yorktown. But it is not the actual Yorktown. It's a rename, a rebrand. Have fun, kid. What about, all right, here's one for you, Bean. What about the USS Clamagore? You ever heard of that? It was a submarine that we had at Patriots Point, but they decided it was built in 1945, from what I understand, and it had that World War II look. I'll tell you that now. It had that World War II look. But it was built too late in the war to actually be used in World War II, so it was used after. And they let it sit and rot, and it fell apart, and then when they finally decided they wanted to do something with it, it was falling apart so much they had no choice, quote unquote, had no choice but to scrap it. There were multiple options that they reviewed, one of them being taking it and putting it on land, but the excuse they used for that was there wasn't a crane big enough for it, and it was just too much money to do it. I think there was one where they were going to do an artificial reef with it, and they decided not to do that. Can't remember what else they said they were going to do with it. I think one was that they were going to put it on stilts and it kind of still sit in the water, but it would just, you know, not leak or anything, or move it further inward, whatever. true, but they could have took care of it a little bit better on land. They don't. I'll put it this way. Like, this is one reason I hate going to Patriots Point. They don't take care of anything they have. The Vietnam exhibit that they have, the tanks and stuff that they have sitting out there are so rotted and falling apart that it's amazing to me that they're still in one piece right now. They don't take care of anything that they have. The only things that they're focusing on is the Laffey and the Yorktown because they're the biggest money makers. And it's like, you know, and it pisses me off because, like, the USS North Carolina, it gets taken care of. The New Jersey, the Missouri, all these ships, they're getting refits, they're getting fixed up. The USS Texas, and meanwhile the Clamagore was sitting there basically begging for help, and they did nothing to help it. They let it rot, and it pisses me off the more I think about it. Every time I think about it, I get mad at those people. They had veterans complaining and being outraged and disgraced because of what they were letting happen to the Clamagore. Veterans that had served on that submarine were disgraced by what they were letting happen to the ship. That is how bad it was. The Queen Maria? I've never even heard of the Queen Maria. Are you talking about the Queen Mary? If you're talking about the Queen Mary, they're not scrapping the Queen Mary. They have taken it and they've taken it and they've redone everything inside. And yeah, so that one's incorrect. I can tell you that now. I was following somebody who was keeping an eye. California bought the Queen Mary. No, California bought the Queen Mary, and they redid a lot of the inside on it and everything. They fixed a lot of things that needed fixing, redid some things, and now it's not. I think it's still a hotel type thing, but they don't allow paranormal investigators to come on board. They don't allow any of that stuff. You have to pay if you want to do like ghost tours and stuff now, from what I understand. They've changed a lot, but they kept everything the same. They just redid everything inside. So no, that one I can confirm to you, she's fine. She's not going anywhere. Like, she's been reopened to the public for a while now, from what I understand. So, about time. Took you long enough, Night Wolf. Been what, months now? What the world happened, boy? I love being the last person on my team. All right, Bean, we can talk tomorrow if you're not busy. Take care of yourself. Don't worry about old me. You can't take care of others if you can't take care of yourself. I'm not a dum-dum. Good night, Bean. Hey, I can catch up on talking to Judy on Talkie. Yay! I think most of their team is giving up on trying to find me. Because they're all crashing. How are you? I mean, I'm alive. So, take that as you will. I'm probably gonna get off here in a second so I can get to bed, but I had a lot of things going on right now, so I'm trying not to play for long periods of time. I know. But as I said, I try not to play for long periods of time. Because I've been having a lot going on, not only on here. I've been accused of being a hypocrite and a hater and all kind of things just within the last few days. Let's see, what else has happened? Wow, that's awesome. All right, but oh yeah, I'm planning on going to Charleston to see Patriots Point in the next, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. I'm not freezing, trust me. I would know if I was. I have my live stream up, so I would know. But yes, purchase everything. Yes. Okay, shut up now. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's put you here. There you go. Ooh, this is nice. Yeah, I think that's just your internet connection, bud, because I'm not having that issue. Also, give me a moment. Sorry. Yeah, I've been dealing with a lot lately, so. Nothing too crazy though, like let me see. How do I put this? My brother's father, yes, my brother doesn't have the same father as I do. So by law, he's my stepbrother, but he looks more like my dad than he ever did his father, so don't ask me how, I don't know. But my brother's father decided to call the Department of Social Services, DSS, on us the other day. And they came out to the house randomly doing like a welfare check or some kind of crap like that. And apparently he was told that my brother wasn't getting fed, he wasn't getting changed, took care of, he was skin and bone. My brother has, and this is what pisses me off when he does this crap. My brother has what they call a high metabolism. So anything he eats gets gone before it really gets in his system really good. So he burns everything off like crazy. So he's always skin and bones. It's always been how he's looked. The only time he's not skin and bones is when he sits up in his chair and he bloats like crazy because of the fact that his body can't handle it very well. And his father comes to the house Friday because it was his birthday, and I'm in my room. The dogs start going crazy. And I go to the door, he's outside. I'm like, okay, well, let me run and go put the dogs up. I put the dogs up, and by the time I get pants on and go out there to see who it is, because at the time I didn't know who it was, he had already backed up and left. He was at the edge of the driveway leaving. So, yeah, I have a lot going on. And then, what was it, yesterday, Lexington County decided to show up at our doorstep talking about that somebody called it in and wanted a welfare check for Andy, which is my brother. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Again? And I let the lady in, let her do her job, whatever. But it pissed me off because it's like this man is trying to do nothing but, make it look like we're not doing our jobs to take care of him, when in reality we are. He doesn't have anything to do with my brother, and I mean that. He has nothing to do with him at all. And it pissed my mom off to a point that we're both, or she is, looking at trying to get charges or a restraining order put against him so he can't have anything to do with him. Like, it pissed us off that much that he did that. And it's got my mom's nerves racked so much it's not even funny. But yeah, I've been dealing with that. And, so if there's ever a moment that I go offline for some strange reason or anything, just know that it most likely has something to do with that. Sorry guys, I'm just I'm a bit crazy. Look at him climbing like an idiot, like that's gonna save him. I just did that just to piss him off, I think. It wasn't like I was gonna do anything to begin with, so, you know, I just figured I'd pester him. You can tell I've played this plane before because I know exactly when to pull up. But I want to ask you guys a question. Do y'all want me to do like little short videos for, because I know for a fact that I can do like 3-minute long videos of the USS Yorktown, and the only way that y'all will be able to see them is through YouTube Shorts, because I cannot post them on the Discord, unfortunately. It's just not something I can do. So do y'all want me to do that, or would y'all prefer for me to just, you know, do pictures and stuff? I'm gonna do both. I'm telling you that now. Like, I am doing both because the fact that I have somebody that wants me to take lots of pictures and stuff. So I will try and do like 3-minute long shorts and stuff. I am planning on trying to do the captain's tour, which will give me access to places that a lot of people probably won't get access to. It's an extra $15. The entrance fee is already $25, so I'll end up paying probably around $40 just for myself to get in. And that's not even including if I want souvenirs, I gotta pay for those, which I'm planning on trying to grab a model or two while I'm there. Models that I normally wouldn't get. And I'm gonna get a few other things as well. I don't care. Like, I want to get things from there. I don't never get a boatload of stuff. And most of the time, you know, I'm not getting anything because of the fact that my mom's like, we can't afford it, we can't afford it. So normally I don't get anything, but this time I'm getting something. I want to get me some stuff to bring back from the USS Yorktown. I'm gonna try and get me some hats. I have a USS Nathan James hat, which is a fake fictional ship. I'm gonna try and get a Laffey and a Yorktown hat. Because, yes. No other explanation, just yes. But I will do my best to record and give you guys some decent shots and stuff of stuff. I will tell you guys now, I have beforehand gotten pictures of myself beside a Corsair, a Wildcat, a Hellcat, and stuff like that. Those pictures will not be shared publicly because of the fact, as you all know, I don't like showing my face. So it's not happening. So, before anyone asks, no, there won't be a face reveal. It's not happening. But, anyway, I'm probably gonna get off here in a second. because, as I said, it's late. And
to negotiate peace, and they have to come up with every plot and scheme to make him look bad.
You know, there's concern from the Europeans that President Zelensky is going to be bullied into signing something away. That's why you have these European leaders coming as backup tomorrow. Can you
No, it isn't. That's
reassure
not why they're coming
them?
us back. That's not true.
It was just up in
Yeah, but we
Alaska
had a bunch of
watching the
meetings
one with
since then.
Vladimir Putin where red carpet rolled
No,
out
but it
from the
wasn't
Russian leader.
Zelensky.
It was
We've had
very
more
different.
meetings. We've had one meeting with Putin and like a dozen meetings with Zelensky. So, but that's not true. They're not coming here tomorrow to keep Zelensky from being bullied. This is such a stupid media narrative that they're coming here tomorrow because Trump is going to bully Zelensky into a bad deal. We've been working with these people for weeks on this stuff. They're coming here tomorrow because they chose to come here tomorrow. We invited them to come.
What's wrong with what Marco Rubio said? Why is the media coming at Zelensky didn't get bullied. That fool got disrespectful, so we got on his head when he came here. And the crazy thing is, our media is like, it's a bad thing to meet with Putin. Well, we were trying to negotiate. You guys are...
Jay, I just told him, and I'll tell you, I'm getting off here in a second. You got here late. Jay, the stream has been going for 2 hours and 39 minutes. So yeah, I'm getting off. I'm tired. I'm ready to go to bed. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. But just so you guys know, there is a possibility that I will not be here Friday because of the fact that I'm possibly going to Charleston, as I said, and of course not this Saturday coming, but next Saturday I'm also going to Charleston. So I hope everybody has a lovely day, and remember, you mess with the wolf, you get the fangs. Y'all have a good one.